Welcome for the fifth and also final day of the GAN lecture and workshop on circular manufacturing. For the next session, I will request Mr. Takata to kindly take over. I think I will have the same request.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So, as the last presentation in this course, I would like to introduce a bit about the history of the circular development of the circular manufacturing in Japan. So, from the early 1990s, advanced effort has been conducted by specific companies in Japan. Also, academic society has started research and development in the area of sustainable manufacturing or the circular manufacturing in terms of design for environment, energy efficient processes, disassembly process, remanufacturing technologies, and shredding sorting technologies for the material recycling. And okay, so this is just some of the histories, but I started this the research work in this field by the presentation of the Professor Alting. He is a professor in technical Denmark. He's a technical university of Denmark, and he made a very interesting presentation in 1993 in CIRP. CIRP is the International Society, International Academy of Production Engineering, and the title was the life cycle concept as a basis for sustainable industrial production. So he stressed the importance of the life cycle approach that implies that the products are planned and developed for all life cycle phases: production, distribution, use, and disposal, before production and marketing. This is just the same concept as I told you in terms of the life cycle development or the life cycle planning on Monday. And this presentation was quite inspiring one, and because the life cycle concept or the term life cycle was at that time familiar to me, because I worked on the maintenance, and in the maintenance field, the life cycle costing, LCC, was quite a hot topic at that time. So that was this, but almost at the same time, the Ricoh company, the copy machine company I referred many times in my presentations, they proposed the so-called comet circle. And you know, this circle like the orbit of the comet. But this chart shows very clearly the concept of the circular manufacturing. The innermost loop is the maintenance and the product reuse, part reuse, and material recycling. So, and also already in 1995, I showed this chart already, but Fuji Xerox started to reuse the parts which is used for producing the new product. And in the area of the research institution or the universities, so-called Inverse Manufacturing Forum started 1995 in Japan. So inverse manufacturing means you put the inverse path in addition to the forward path. So the same concept as the linear process. With a linear process, you put the return process and make the loop. And in this inverse manufacturing forum, we made a lot of research works, such as design for environment and so on, so as I told you already. And this also, I showed this chart already. This is the example of the single-use camera and the automatic recycling or the reuse manufacturing factory was established in 1998. But so in industry or in the academic field, we didn't only think about the recycling but also the reuse. So we said that the 3R is a very important concept: reduce, reuse, and recycling, as you know. But the government, the most important issue at that time for the Japanese government was the shortage of final landfill site. So this shows the final disposal volume. So 1980, 1990, 1991 as the peak. So in this period, the final disposal volume increases quite steadily. And what was the problem was the remaining years of the final landfill site was at that time, I mean the 1990, only 1 year or 1.5 year. So very serious situation at the time. Therefore, the Japanese government put a lot of effort to reduce the disposal, the amount of disposal, and to save the landfill site. So, for this reason, the Japanese government established a legal system which is called Sound Material Cycle Society. But what they made was the legal system of the recycling, material recycling system. And they set different kind of the act, such as the Containers and Packaging Recycling Act, or Home Appliance Recycling Act, Food Recycling Act, Construction Recycling Act, Automobile Recycling Act, and Small Home Appliance Recycling Act. So they were established the late 1990s or early 2000s. So this is a chart for explaining what is the Home Appliance Recycling Act. So this act applies to the rather what we call white appliances. That include the air conditioner, refrigerator, washing machine, and a TV. And the system works in this way that the consumer have to buy so-called recycling ticket from the retailers. And that means when they discard their appliances, they need to buy a recycling ticket and to ask to take the your machines. So the four appliances, almost all houses of the families has TV, air conditioner, washing machine, and refrigerators. So when you therefore say that when they buy something, they have already one in your house, and they replace because of maybe the broken and so on. So therefore, usually the customer comes to the retailers or the shop and buy a new machine, new refrigerators, and ask to bring to their home. And then at the same time, so the customer buy the recycling ticket. And when the new machine comes to your room, then you give the recycling ticket, and at the same time the existing machine should be brought. So in this way, this system works. So that means you need to pay the recycling fee when you discard your machine. So this is the way of the home appliance recycling system. And the Act says that the manufacturer of the home appliances should establish the recycling plant all over the countries. So altogether, 48 recycling plants have been newly established by manufacturers. And these are the distribution of the recycling plant. And before starting enacting this, before the start of this system, the pilot recycling plant had been established and test the way of the recycling of the such as refrigerator and so on. So this is a picture of these are the pictures of one of the recycling plant. And for example, so this is a quite old LCD TV, and maybe design is not so, it was not so well designed for the disassembly. So there are so many screws, but he had to unscrew everyone and take the hard disk or this kind of the circuit board contains precious metals, so it has to be recycled separately from the covers made of plastics and so on. This video is a bit old one, so nowadays so more how can I say, the new machines are disassembled, and also some company developed the automatic disassembly system using the robot. The robot recognizes the screw and unscrew automatically. So there are so many circuit or the electronic component inside the TV at that time. Sorting is quite important for recycling. So if you sort very well, then you can get a more useful material. And you know that at that time the backlight of the TV was not the LED, but using this kind of the light 蛍光灯なんて言うんだろうね。 these are the light, very thin. I don't know the English word, sorry, but this kind of the light. So nowadays TV does not have this kind of the light. So the LED is used for that purpose. Fluorescent lamps. Okay. So, in such a way, the appliances are recycled in Japan. This is also the this is air conditioner, a refrigerator, and maybe washing machine, and so on. So, but this I'm sorry. So this is a very small chart, but this is a case of the automobile recycling system. And in this case, you have to pay the recycling fee when you buy your car. So the money is deposited, and then at the end of the life, there is a certain kind of the institution who reserve the money, and then the manufacturer should should recycle the car, and for this purpose they can get the money from the such kind of the control institution. So the way of the pay is different from the case of the home appliances. I don't know the exact reason why. So one is the first and another is when that discarded. But anyhow, so the system is a bit different from them. Okay, so and in the case of the car recycling, the recycling fee is used to recycle the one is fluorescence, that is material used in the kayakings. That has a very big impact on the global warming, and also airbags that should be that has explosive materials, so that should be disassembled very carefully. And also the shredder residuals. After shredding the cars and assorted materials such as many kind of metals or the plastics, but then the last thing is residual, and that has to be dumped in the final should be landfill. So the fees are used to treat these things, but the body itself or other material can be can be sold because it has a value. So by these efforts, the total generated waste and waste generated per person per day decreases significantly in these days. So nowadays, we could solve the shortage of the landfill area in Japan. So this shows the final disposal amount and the final disposal amount per person per day. That was a total generated waste, and this is a final disposal amount. But anyhow, so both are decreased significantly thanks to the effort to introduce the recycling laws. But the efforts of the introducing the circular manufacturing or the material circulation in Japan has achieved already, although Japan has achieved a significant reduction of waste, but our effort to the 3R is stagnated in the late 2000 and early 2010. Maybe the reason was the concept of 3R and circular manufacturing has been successfully implemented in several types of products, such as single-use camera, copiers, and construction machines in the 90s. Such advanced effort on circular manufacturing has not spread widely in Japan after that. The reason why the above-mentioned examples have been successful in implementing circular manufacturing is that their business have originally incorporated characteristics suitable for circularity. So, about the single-use camera, I already told you that the product automatically come back to the shops, and the shops can send the collected camera to the factory. And also, in the case of the copier, the maintenance is quite important to maintain the quality of the copy. So that is one important characteristics of this kind of the product. So usually the customer has a contract with manufacturer, the maintenance contract, and they pay, or we pay a certain amount of money per copy. So their business model is not just selling the product, but managing the life cycle in terms of the maintenance and getting the money. So they don't they don't much money for providing the product, but instead they get more money from the use of the copy machines. So that makes copy machine manufacturer to introduce this kind of the reuse or remanufacturing system. But in the case of other companies, it is necessary to redesign value chains and manufacturing systems in a fundamental different manner for transforming the linear manufacturing to circular manufacturing. So for many companies, they have to change the way of the business completely. So that is quite difficult for them. So companies were usually reluctant to change their systems established over time and felt that they had done everything possible within the existing framework. So recycling, material recycling, so for this purpose, you don't need to change your business completely. So what you have to do is to collect the end-of-life product and treat recycling, put them into the recycling process. So they don't need to change their design. Of course, the design for recycling is a bit useful, but anyhow, so they don't need to change the production system or the selling system and so on. And maybe there are also disasters such as Lehman shock or Great East Japan earthquake, which companies had to cope with first. But as you know, in 2015, EU proposed so-called circular economy, and also they are claiming that decoupling is quite important for us. And this changes the mood of the companies in Japan. So, for example, on October 2020, Japanese Prime Minister declared Japan's aim to reduce GHG emission to net zero until 2050. And this declaration has brought a change of mood in Japanese industry. Companies are trying to make various efforts to contribute to the reduction of carbon footprint and resource consumption. So although many companies begin to understand that they need to change their business models and value chains to introduce circularity, unfortunately, they are still struggling to find a way to transform their businesses. For moving company forward on implementation of circular manufacturing, collect good examples and analyze successful factors. So you need to you need to learn from the good examples or the good cases and analyze successful factors, develop life cycle scenarios and evaluate them with life cycle simulation, and take a forward step. So these are the hope, our hope, but for many companies it is not so easy way still. Okay, so this is just a current situation in Japan, some material. So if you look at the material flow in Japan, this is 2000 data, and this is 2021. The total material input, including everything, reduced by 33% from 2000 to 2021. If you look at the GHG emission, also we could reduce significantly in these days. Energy-related CO2 emission by sectors. So if you look at the industry sector, they made a lot of effort to reduce the energy-related emission. But the transport sector and this is the commercial and other sectors, or the residential sectors or the energy conversion sectors are still they are not so successful in reducing the CO2 emissions. Okay, so what I want to say is that in general, so we made a lot of effort, and from certain aspect, we are successful to reducing the waste, reducing the CO2 emissions, and so on. But still, we need more effort to introduce the circular manufacturing to cope with the resource depletion or the global warming. So in summary, the history of effort for reducing environmental impact and resource consumption in Japan is reviewed. Efforts are already started in 1990s, so it is not a new issue. It is already not I should say old, but for long-term issues. And leading companies developed circular manufacturing systems quite successfully. So, but on the other hand, Japanese government tackled the issue of shortage of final disposal site and developed various recycling laws. In 2000 and early 2010s, activity have remained stagnant, perhaps due to the economic situation and the occurrence of disasters. Government was also satisfied with the success of waste reduction by introducing the recycling laws. So this is one of the reasons why the effort was stagnated. However, such situation was changed by the proposal of circular economy and the introduction of related regulations by EU. Nowadays, many companies have started to consider how to calculate carbon footprint and to achieve carbon neutral. Japanese government also tried to push and support their effort. Although the mood has changed in this way, few companies have actually implemented circular manufacturing system yet, so we need more effort. Okay, with this, I stopped my presentation, and I appreciate your attendance to this course and giving me a chance to introduce certain to explain about circular manufacturing from different aspects. Thank you very much.
Though I don't have a question, but I want to add something to it. There is one more complementary model which is known as donut economic model, which was introduced by Keith Robert.
By
Keith Robert.
Donut.
Donut economic model. No.
DONUT. Donut.
Donut.
Yes.
So this donut. Donut. So one more model, donut model. We have circular model. So a complementary model, donut model, was introduced by Kate Ruber. She is a research scientist, economist from Oxford University, and where she, implemented. So in circular system, we have to reuse the resources, reduce, and we have to close the loop. But into this, adding on to it, you have to also keep in mind the well-being of the human being. So two things are kept in mind: well-being of the human being plus the well-being of the environment. Yeah.
So that is the concept of decoupling.
Yeah. So it's a complementary model. It's also known as regenerative economic model.
Yeah. So how we can achieve that kind of the how can I say it? We don't want to compromise. So we want to achieve both the development of the well-being, increasing the well-being, and decreasing the resource consumption and global warming or the environmental impact. So of course it's not so there aren't good solution right now or the complete solution right now, but what we want to achieve is this kind of support the development in terms of the well-being, but at the same time we need to maintain the global condition. So
also she told the very basic fundamental problem which different economies are facing is because they have a capitalistic mindset, and so the bigger economies, the very big barrier for the implementation of policies or the other rules and regulations is the capitalistic mindset. Until and unless we don't compromise with that mentality, it will be a bit difficult for other countries to adopt such models in a full-fledged manner.
Yeah, so for the development countries, so of course it is not more difficult to tackle with this kind of the issues because they need to increase the living standard or the well-beings. So for that, you need more resources or the energies. But as you know that there are many ways to reduce the resource consumption or reuse the material. So the amount of the material which we reused is not a big amount right now. So as I showed that already we extracted a lot of material from the earth. So maybe you said that too optimistic, but I think that we can have a chance to satisfy both goals. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I had another. So if you look at, for example, IC engine based cars and EV based cars. IC engine cars have ecosystem have developed before circular manufacturing or sustainability was important. Whereas EVs are coming at a time when both sustainability and circular manufacturing are prominent. So, do you see any difference in the way the design, the supply chain, etc., are also taken into considerations? So these two sectors give a contrasting example of design right in the beginning. So, because I think what you have mentioned is companies which have kept circular manufacturing right in the design stage itself are more successful at it. So, are there any studies contrasting these two, both either success or failure?
I think that unfortunately, so the producing the EVs don't care much about the environment or the material problem. So they are just claiming the EV is more does not emit any CO2 during the driving. But so if you look at the production phases or the material extraction phases, they have a lot of impact on the environment. So that EV should have, so you should introduce a design for reuse, recycling more intensively for the development of the EV. But I think it is a bit bad side of the commercialism or the capitalism. So maybe we will have a chance to reduce, to design the EVs more environmentally friendly, but still.
But at least at the moment, the companies seem not to be interested or focused on it.
Yeah, of course they are saying that we are considering this aspect, but not enough, I think.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So, I want to know, apart from these acts which Japanese government has raised, how these Japanese governments are pushing those companies to circularity in terms of tax assumption or having laws. So what is the steps taken by the Japanese government?
Yeah, so the way of the pushing the company is a bit different in compared with the EU cases. So in EU, they establish many kind of the regulations and force it to obey, to follow these kind of the ways. But the Japanese government doesn't act like this way. So they propose the, how can I say, they are proposing the, to make this kind of effort and support in certain extent. So, for example, they are organizing the so-called circular partners. So they called many companies to join this group and share the good cases for the circular manufacturing or the reducing the CO2 emission and so on. So in this way, so the way of Japanese government is rather gentle. So I don't know whether it works quite fast or not, but it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't work quite fast. But sometimes, so you know the tail of the turtle or the rabbit. So even though the speed is not so fast, but the effort is more, how can you say, yeah, steady state. So I hope that, of course, I think that the Japanese government should push more stress on the companies or the industries, but maybe this is a kind of the Japanese way, and I hope that would make that works. That kind of the behavior is also the works also in Japan.
Yes. I think thank Mr. Takata.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for my bad English, so maybe you don't understand my explanation, but if you have any questions, please send me an email, then I can reply by the text. Okay, thank you very much again.